Hi everybody, welcome to week 11 of your practicum. Yay, we're getting there. All right, it's getting just a little bit warmer in Utah. I hope that those of you that are in the frozen tundra are able to thaw out a little bit this week, but some of the weather forecasts aren't looking too good. I really wish you the best. All right, so this week we are tackling competency 6, pursue continuous quality improvement in the nurse educator role. Okay. So as you've been in the MSN program, you've been continually growing and learning, right? After you graduate, though, that really needs to continue, but it may be a bit harder to achieve. You're kind of forced to do it now, right? So several of the tasks under this competency in your text kind of allude to this keep going issue, okay? So the first one is a commitment to lifelong learning. That may seem obvious, right? We do that with our students and our nurses. But now you will need to keep up to date both within your clinical specialty area and with your education knowledge, right? I'm sure that there is research coming out all the time in both of these areas. In fact, I know there is, right? So personally, I kind of use a combination of approaches. I still maintain my clinical practice, so that does help me. I attend conferences, I read journals, I belong to listservs, so kind of different ways that way. How do you plan to address this area? It's something you really need to think about, especially if you're thinking about changing positions maybe after graduation. You're going to be, let's say, very busy if you're in a new educator position. All right, so another task listed under this competency is to balance teaching, scholarship, and service demands. That's in the academic setting. In the clinical setting, these areas may be competing demands for an educator's time. So if any of you are transitioning to an educator role after graduation, or changing into educator roles, please be sure to ask about the competing demands when interviewing. Is there an expectation of conducting research or being involved with EBP projects? What about the service role, as in participating in or chairing committees, that type of service to the institution? What are the expectations there? Because it really can be quite a juggling act. When I was a faculty member at a community college, I was a lead instructor for a course, and I had other courses. I did some clinical. I ended up being the chair of the general education committee for the entire college, which was like, I don't know, 15 campuses or something like that. And then, of course, I still have a family and all that. So sometimes it can really kind of get to be very hard to juggle and balance everything. So those are things you want to find out about. What are the expectations? All right, another area of this competency is about socialization to the role. We talk about, right, our new grads socializing to the new nurse role. You're going to be socializing to an educator role, or even if you don't become an educator right away, you're not going to be looked at as more of a go-to person. That one with the MSN. All right, so if you're going to be changing positions, what orientation will you receive? What resources are going to be available to you, including human resources, after your orientation? Who can you turn to? I often ask my students in the MS program kind of a goofy question, but who will you eat lunch with if you get an educator position? So if you're staying within your organization and your previous peers were staff nurses, do you eat with them? Do you eat with fellow nurse educators? Do you eat with managers that you knew? It kind of speaks to the socialization into the role. Anyway, if you're in a college setting, you may be very tempted to eat lunch at your desk because you're generating a whole bunch of new material to teach. Will you seek out fellow faculty members and eat with them? So just some thoughts there. Finally, in either setting, there are legal and ethical issues that do come up that you're faced with. So here are a few of them. What if you think a student is cheating? What criteria would you use to fail a student in the clinical component of a course? It's a little more black and white in the classroom. What if you have a new nurse orienting who just does not seem safe with his or her judgment? What if you think you have a student or nurse who you believe to be impaired? Unfortunately, these are all situations that I've faced in the past, and unfortunately, you're likely to face at least one or two of them as you progress. So those are part of this competency, the legal and ethical issues. So I am going to attach an article for you to consider. This competency really is about your own continuous quality improvement in the educator role, how you stay on top of things, how your personal development keeps going, that sort of thing. But how do we engage our students in that continuous quality improvement process? So the attached article is about the way that one group of faculty address this issue to kind of open the students' minds to this process. I'd appreciate if you take a look at it and let me know what your thoughts are. All right, guys, I think that's about it for this week. We'll see you in the main forum.